Peter, listen, the Q&A was going fine, and then the VIX suddenly, that fear index, down all day, flipped to the upside. Investors had penciled in zero rates for a few years, okay, but nearly 4 years of 0 to 0.25%. Should they just live on the edge and put it all in pen now?
Well, they can actually tattoo it on their arms. But the problem is, eventually the Fed is going to have to let interest rates go up if it doesn't want the dollar to become worthless. And I thought one of the funniest comments, other than the fact that Powell denied that we even have any asset bubbles. I mean, I don't know where he's living, but he claimed that the reason too low inflation is bad and the Fed needs to fight that is he said if inflation is too low, it's going to lead to interest rates being too low. But he wants low interest rates. They're already at zero. The Fed's goal is low interest rates. So how can the Fed say that low inflation is a problem if the only problem that we get from low inflation is low interest rates when he thinks that's the solution to every problem?
But the options market is starting to look like a pocket of risk. They're paying premiums and there's a lot of money going in there. What distortions do you see, Peter?
Liz, well, first of all, the Fed knows there's a bubble because anytime the air starts coming out of it, it's there to blow more into it. I mean, all of its policies are deliberately designed to maintain that bubble. And the irony, Liz, is that everything the Fed is doing to inflate asset bubbles is actually deflating real economic growth on Main Street. The Fed is the biggest enemy of legitimate economic growth because it's so fixated on maintaining these asset bubbles that it now denies exist.
As far as bubbles, I'm not saying there are no bubbles. Just look at the NASDAQ. Just look at where the 200-day moving average is in the NASDAQ. You're down another 2,000 points. Yeah. So, yeah, you're potentially in a bubble, by the way, but the Fed's going to be there.
The Fed doesn't have to be there. That's the problem. And we don't need more infrastructure spending either. We can't afford that. We're broke. We don't want the government creating money and spending it. We want the government to stop spending so that they can free up those resources back to the private sector where they're needed. Everything the government is doing, all these government spending programs are making the economy weaker, not stronger.
I guess Peter's not a believer of the modern monetary theory.
No, nothing modern about that, and it's not even theoretical because it doesn't work.
Well, it seems to be working right now, Peter.
For the 10-year yield.
It's not working.
It's ticking higher. All right, this is why we bring these two together, because the person.
Right, it's working for me, but not for the country.
Indeed, gold has hit some good numbers lately. All right, great to have you both, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Andy Brenner, Peter Schiff.